Howdy, all. Welcome on into Goose Talks Film. I'm your host, Goose. Hope you appreciate my flash hoodie that my daughter picked out for me. It's very, very comfy and warm, and she's very happy that I wear it. So, hope you appreciate it as much as I do. And it's fitting as well, because July this year of 2025 is one of the most stacked months that I can remember in terms of movies that I'm interested in, but also a wide variety of people are interested in as well. They're all franchise films. Unfortunately, that's just how it is all the time. Is the most amped up movies are franchise movies or adaptations or remakes or whatever it is. But of course, I'm talking about the big three of July, which is Superman, Jurassic World Rebirth, and Fantastic Four. But also, there's some sleeper hits in July as well that I think are going to do quite well, just because I think July always does quite well. It's why a lot of big movies get released that time of year in America, obviously. It's just a very popular time. Have a look when Jaws was released, the age of the summer blockbuster. Here in Australia, it's obviously the dead of winter, but that also does really, really well in Australia too, because people are more likely to stay indoors, go to a warm theatre. There's not a lot you can do. You can't go out swimming and walking, hiking, etc., unless you're a diehard. But yeah, look, I'm so excited for July. I just want to kind of do a quick little video about it, and I also want to get your views and your reactions in the comments too. What movie are you most looking forward to in July? And is this the most excited you've been for a month of movies? Or if it isn't, let me know what month was and like what year and what movies were released in that month. Very interested. Make sure you like this video if this is content you like, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on videos like this if this is your type of content. My main focus on here at the moment is my Goose Talks Film podcast. It's a weekly review podcast, usually new releases, but I do the odd classical movie review as well, as I did The Descent about a month ago, and I've done others previously as well. So make sure you follow. And I'll be doing more videos like this as well. I've done reaction videos. I reacted to Superman trailer. I reacted to the Until Dawn trailer, which I'm yet to see, unfortunately, because our cinema here locally in my small town did not get Until Dawn, unfortunately. So I'll be reviewing that on my podcast. And make sure, if you want to listen to the podcast, if that's easier for you, I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Audible, YouTube Music, anywhere you listen to your podcast, I am on. So make sure you follow Goose Talks Film. And I'll be starting a Patreon very soon. Just wanted to be a bit more grand, a bit more consistent. Now my second kid is getting a bit older now, and I'm finding my feet a bit more with my content creation. So make sure you follow and subscribe. Anyway, enough bull crap. We're talking. So the first week of July looks to be relatively one movie. This is just American movies as well. Just mainly because they get the wider releases internationally. There could be, some Asian films, UK films, even Australian films, but easier for me just to focus on the American films at the moment because they're the ones I want to talk about. But if you want me to focus on another movie that's, UK made, Australian made, Asian made, Middle Eastern made, whatever it is, African made, let me know in the comments, and I will try and do my best to cover it in the future. Anyway, the first week of July in terms of American films is only really a one-horse race because 3 movies are scheduled to be released, and it is Jurassic World Rebirth, which obviously part of one of the most beloved franchises of the past 30, 40 years. Then you have The Old Guard 2, and you have Heads of State, which are both going to be released straight to streaming. Heads of State, starring John Cena, Idris Elba, and Priyanka Chopra, will be released straight to Amazon Prime Video, and The Old Guard 2 will be released straight to Netflix. So one horse race. So this is looking really, really good for Jurassic World Rebirth. We all know that most of the time in North America, domestically specifically, they make most of their money in the first week, sometimes the second week. If they're a big blockbuster movie, it relatively stays pretty stock standard for 2-3 weeks, and it kind of starts to decline. But yeah, I think Jurassic World Rebirth is going to absolutely crap it in. Because then the week before, end of June, you have Megan 2.0, which is a genre film. The second one's leaning more into action sci-fi, so that might bring a few new eyeballs to it. It's not just, even though the first one wasn't straight horror, it was more horror than what the new one looks like it to be. So that'll do quite well. F1, I think, with Brad Pitt is going to be a sleeper hit in terms of no one's really talking about it, although I think it's going to do really, really well. The interest in F1 in general has really peaked the last couple of years, and I have a one of my best mates has been fully into F1 for a long, long time, and he sends me videos and stuff about it. And then I see everyone doing it, and he's been doing it before it got big. So shout out to him. So I think F1 will do really, really well. I don't think it's going to leak into week 2 and steal anything from Jurassic World Rebirth by any stretch. But then that gives it kind of a head start, because then the following week you have Medea's Destination Wedding, which I think might be going straight to Netflix, or it might be having like just a limited release beforehand. I'm not sure. Then you have obviously Superman as the other big fish. Will Jurassic World Rebirth kind of leak over and steal from Superman? I don't think. I think diehard fans like me, we're going to go see all these movies in the first week that they're released. So I'm going to go see Jurassic World Rebirth in the first few days it's released, and then I'll be ready the next week for Superman. So I think Superman's going to do really, really well. And the question is, I'll discuss at the very end. I'll do a little recap of the big three. What one do I think is going to walk away with the box office crown of July? It's a very tough question. But I think Superman, I think Superman will do really, really well. You have comic book fans like me, we're always going to go see big comic book movies like this, especially the start of a franchise. We all know that this is technically the first proper feature film in James Gunn's DC universe, as he's kind of retconned The Flash and all that, and Aquaman 2 that were meant to be included in kind of the start of Gunn's DC universe, but they both bombed the box office, didn't do well critically, although I did really like the Flash movie. Michael Keaton, favorite actor of all time, is my favorite Batman. Of course I'm going to like it. Bit biased. Doesn't matter. So yeah, Superman, I mean, it's the start of a big universe. Superman's one of the most beloved fictional characters ever created. You're going to have old school people seeing it, as people middle-aged, people my age, the young people. They're going to flock to this man. I think it's going to do really, really well. And I think how it's going to really pan out over maybe the first month of its box office run really is how does it go critically? Because all the diehard fans that want to see this, we're going to all go see it within the first week easily. Then from then on, it's about word of mouth, critical review. The online social media is a big, big word of mouth thing these days. YouTube, people listen to reviews. Will it do as well? Will it have a big drop off? We've seen movies that do really, really well domestically and internationally in their first week, and I think it's going to track to a big, big box office taking, and then it just plummets because all the people, the diehards, really wanted to see the movie. They all go rush to it in the first 3 or 4 days, and then after that, there's really no general audience participation. There's no one else that really wants to go see it. It's going to be interesting with Superman. I think it's going to do really, really well. And I'll answer the question, like I said, will it be the King? We'll wait and see. Then the week after that, we have a bit of a break between the big, big movies of the big three. We have Smurfs, which is I think the fourth different iteration we've had of the Smurfs for the past 15 years. It's not a sequel or anything by any means. I think it's the start of a new series of Smurfs movies. It's very confusing. We've had the animation / live action. We've had the animated film. It's all very, very confusing. It'll do well. Smurfs, they've kind of done really well considering Smurfs wasn't really massive in a lot of generations, in my generation and the generations after. It was a bit beforehand, but it has stood the test of time. It's just one of the things that's been handed down from generation to generation that people knows what the Smurfs is. It's going to be a good movie for kids to go to, during July. Because around that, there's not really a lot of kids' movies to go see at the movie. So I think it will do well for that fact of parents taking their kids out to go see it. It's going to have a smaller demographic. So not many teenagers are going to go see this unless they're diehard Smurfs fans. I don't think you're going to have any general teenage audiences going to see the Smurfs, unfortunately. Maybe some adults will go for some nostalgia, but I think it's really about families, the Smurfs. And you have I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is one of my most anticipated. I think I'm going to be disappointed, unfortunately, because it's just how it is with these new... It's a legacy sequel, so they usually do quite well at the box office and also critically. It's then the legacy sequels from that legacy sequel. I should say we've seen it with the Halloween legacy that started really well and dropped off really badly. And technically, the Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a sequel to the original one, kind of, if you look at it like that, and that was fucking terrible. I know we did last summer. I think it's going to do really well with the horror niche. I think if you're a horror fan, I think 85 or 90% of horror fans are going to go see this. Maybe not to begin with, like not all rushing out like Superman or Jurassic World, but I think you're going to have steady over maybe the first 3 weeks. He's going to remain quite steady. He's going to have its peak at the start in the first week, obviously, but it's not going to decline rapidly, I don't think. I think it's going to remain quite consistent. Then you have Eddington, which is from the latest of Ari Aster, who most famously probably Hereditary, Midsummer. So this is going to be a weird little film that's going to be original and different, though. It's got Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal, headlined by 2 massive actors. Obviously, Ari Aster directed Joaquin Phoenix in Bo was Very Afraid, I think it was called, which I wasn't a fan of, but I am a fan of the 2 previous films from Ari that I did mention. So that'll do quite well from A24. It's interesting which one will come out on top. I know we did last time more Eddington. I don't think Eddington is a straight up horror. I think it's going to be similar to maybe in between Hereditary and Midsummer. Like, I would say the second half of Midsummer is more of a horror than the others. Hereditary was, I don't know. Maybe it was a horror thriller. It's really hard to tell. But that's Ari Aster movies for you. Like, it's hard to put them in just one singular genre. I think it's quite good. It's interesting. Eddington, I think will do quite well. I think all 3 of those movies are going to make back their budgets and their marketing and all that. I don't think they're going to be box office bombs by any stretch of the imagination because their budgets just aren't too big. And the marketing's not going to be too crazy for any of those. Then we have quite a big weekend. Second last weekend of July, I think. It's Happy Gilmore 2, which has gone straight to Netflix. That's going to be like a nostalgic kick. I think I'm just going to enjoy watching it. It's going to be entertaining. I don't think it's going to be amazing. It's 2025 Adam Sandler. I'm still always going to love him, but his movies just aren't ever going to be as good. It's just his comedy, his comedy hasn't changed, but our humor has changed over the years as audiences. But I'm excited for it. It's a shame that Carl Weathers did pass away. I would have loved to have seen him have like a little heaven segment. And but anyway, I'm excited. I will watch it the first weekend it comes out from the comfort of my home. Then, of course, we have the Fantastic Four First Steps, which is one of probably the most anticipated I've been for a Marvel film since the last Spider-Man, which was a few years ago now. I haven't really been excited for Marvel really that much. I have watched most of them. I didn't rush to go see Thunderbolts. I'll watch it eventually, probably not at the cinemas. But Fantastic Four has always been a bit of nostalgia for me because when I was very, very young, I had a video that was from the Spider-Man animated TV series, and it was like a crossover with Fantastic Four. And on that same video was a bonus episode of Daredevil as well, where Matt Murdock, I'm pretty sure it's his lawyer, and a bit like the film with Tom Holland and Charlie Cox, I think his name is. And obviously I watched the movie. I think the first movie came out in, I think, 04 or 05. I was, about 9, 10 years old, and that was just influx of comic book movies at that point. That's why I got into comic books in the first place. I'm a big comic book nerd. So Fantastic Four is always going to have that nostalgia for me. So I'm always going to go see Fantastic Four at the movies. I even saw the dreadful, was it 2017 version, I think it was, with Kate Mara and Miles Teller, which was an abomination. But this looks very faithful to the comics. Like the vibe and the feel, it just feels like Fantastic Four to me. Which the first Fantastic Four movie with Jon Griffith, Jessica Alba, Michael Chiklis, Chris Evans, Julian McMahon, it felt like Fantastic Four, like from watching the cartoon, watching the movie, then reading the comic books after the first film. Rise of the Silver Surfer I wasn't a huge fan of. I think it does have its good parts though, to be fair. I still will stand by what I said online at the time of the announcement. I think Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, like the announcement, was very disappointing. I think it was very a safe casting from them, and also it's going to, I guess it's going to build into the multiverse and all that type of shit with him obviously dying as Iron Man and then now being, because Fantastic Four is in the MCU, right? It's the same person, but he's playing a different character. So that's all going to come into play. I'm kind of over it. Kind of want a Fantastic Four kind of separated a bit and then in the future be thrust into the extended MCU. But I think they could have, just cast someone differently and done something really cool with the role. Look, I'm guaranteed Robert Downey Jr. is going to do a good job, but I just really wish we'd seen someone else being brought into MCU because it's always quite exciting, a big actor being brought into MCU for the first time. But I'm really excited for Fantastic Four First Steps. I think they did really well with the casting. other than Robert Downey Jr., but I will watch it, like I said. Anyway, who do I think is going to reign supreme? And I'm not saying this movie will, but out of the ones I've mentioned, who is most likely to bomb? If someone from the future comes back and tells me one of these movies bombs the box office, I've got to say which one. But not of the big three. I think Smurfs does have the danger of bombing. I don't know what the budget's like, but the animation does look quite good. It's made by Paramount Animation. They do spend a bit of money. It does have the worry that it's only going to make back its budget, but not the marketing, which the marketing hasn't been crazy, but they have been doing fast food toys and all that type of stuff, which does cost a shit ton of money in terms of marketing. So, yeah, I would say the Smurfs is most likely to bomb and not make any money. Of the big three, I don't think any of them are really a chance to lose money. I think they're just too guaranteed at this point to make money. They might not make a shit ton of money, but I don't think they're going to lose the studios any money. Of the big three, well, of any film, but I think it's going to be one of the big three anyway. Who is going to make the most money in terms of actual profit as opposed to the budget, but also overall box office? But I think it's going to be relatively the same answer. I think Superman is going to reign supreme. I think that it's very anticipated. Superman's that type of character. You're going to have the people that are going to go watch it and spend their money that are only going to get home and then shit on it because it's not Henry Cavill and Zack Snyder. Doesn't matter. It's still going to make its money. I'm talking about solely box office profit and just a box office return in general. I think Superman's going to top. If it doesn't make $1 billion, I don't know. I really don't know. Matt Reeves' Batman in 2021 made just under $800 million, and that was still during COVID. So I would say this is definitely making between $850 million and $1.1 billion. I think it's going to do really well overseas. I think it's just guaranteed. Jurassic World, I don't know if a lot of people are turned off from the previous trilogy. I know, including myself, I think of the Jurassic World trilogy, the second one was my least favourite. I think the third one picked up a bit, but still the first Jurassic World was by far head and shoulders the best from the other two. So if people are deterred, I don't think. I think he's going to do really well. I think Jurassic World Rebirth will probably be on the same page as Fantastic Four. This could age really badly. Someone's probably going to clip this and look like an absolute fuckwit, but I don't see Fantastic Four eclipsing 750 mil. I think Superman's almost guaranteed to get over 750 mil international. Don't think Fantastic Four will. Might get close. Might get 700 or something. I don't know if it's going to go like eclipse 750. And if it does, it's going to be just. I think Jurassic World Rebirth definitely won't make over 800 million. I just don't see. I think Jurassic Park / World doesn't carry the weight that it used to. And I think that's because the damage that some of those movies have done and people just losing interest in general and it just not being the original trilogy, that some people are just like that. Yeah, I think Superman's going to be up here and then the other two are going to be right. And who's going to finish second, third? It's going to be tough between second and third. I wouldn't be, if you told me that Fantastic Four comes second, I wouldn't be surprised. If you told me Jurassic World Rebirth comes second, it wouldn't surprise me. But they're very, very excited. Let me know down in the comments. Just of the big three, the first question is, of the big three, Jurassic World Rebirth, Superman, and Fantastic Four, which of those three are you most excited for? Question 2, which one of those three do you think is going to make the most money? And question 3, what other film that I mentioned that's also being released in July are you excited for that could be a sleeper hit in terms of the money that it makes and the profit that it turns? Let me know down in the comments below, making sure you're following me on all social media. I am Goose, Talks Film on everything. Make sure you follow me where you listen to your audio, like your podcast. Like I said, I'm on Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube because I will be doing just YouTube exclusive videos. That's reactions, that's tier lists, that's defending my garbage series that will be starting very, very soon. Make sure you don't miss out. And as I always say here on Goose Talks Film, make sure you watch those movies. Make sure you support your local cinemas. We don't know how lucky we are. It's an experience that we could never get again if they do go away. So make sure you support those cinemas, guys. Thanks for watching. I've been Goose. Catch you later.